everybody. Hey, Nate. How are y'all? Good to see everybody tonight. We're not here for a long time, but we hope to be here for a good time. You all recognize the spot, but we've got an addition. And y'all just missed the deer. There was a couple. There was a buck with a number of points and his lady friend, and they were down here at the end of the road, and they went back in the cemetery where we see deer on a regular basis here. And we are at the historic and iconic spot known as Bootleggers Crossing. If it's your first time with us, check it out. Google Bootleggers Crossing. There's no official site marker here. It is just a fact that's been handed down by generations and generations, when this used to be, during Prohibition, the hotbed of activity with the bootleggers, where they worked in conjunction with the trains in moving the illegal liquor. So, if it's your first time, sit back and have a good time. If you've been here before, sit back and have a good time too. And don't forget, Magic City Rail Fest, coming up in 2 days. Excuse me, today is November 6, 2025. We are live, and I tell you that, so if you watch this a week from now, you don't run down to Birmingham on the wrong weekend. We will be guests of Aiden all weekend on Saturday at the Magic City Rail Watch with everybody. So make plans to be in Birmingham. We're going to start out in Irondale. I'll go over his schedule here in a little bit. We're not far from Interstate 75, so we have a little bit of extra noise. And like I said, there are no lights here. Since the time has changed, we just wanted to find a spot where we can get set up, touch base with y'all. We're going to start out tomorrow morning on a trip to Birmingham, and we're going to film here, there, and yonder. I think we'll start out at Old Waxahachie Crossing so we can take in the leaves and the colors. And so far, the trees have just decided to either drop all the leaves today or stay green. My Bradford pears are completely green. Looks like spring. Back through here we have a little color, so this is kind of a cool area. Sun's already setting thanks to our government and their idea to spring forward and fall back and be dark before you get home from work. So everybody, let's hope we can catch a train or two. We are here on the Norfolk Southern, Knoxville West End lines. Track 1 on the far side, track 2 closest to us at the 227 mile post. The outbound signal bridges are to my left. There are 2 crossover points, 2 diverge points. Oh, we got action! Stinky Pete! He even smells when it's cold out. And for those of you not familiar with, and I'm going to guess X15T, for those of you not familiar with Stinky Pete, every one of those containers are loaded with trash from the New England states. And that is officially what you call a Stinky Pete. Even after he's long gone. And like I said, every single one of those double-stacked containers are packed and smashed and packed some more with solid amounts of trash. Every day they make their way to Alabama. And that train always goes fast because that poor train crew does not want to stop and smell that train. Ugh. He just came off the Knoxville West End, where we were talking if you go the other way once you're past the Signal Bridge. Atlanta North District begins, splits off to the right and goes south. Knoxville West End splits off to the left on the other side of the Signal Bridges and goes north to, yes, Knoxville. So Stinky Pete is in the house. You just missed the deer. There was a buck and a doe. What you up to?
Nothing. I was at Home Depot and I just thought I'd pass by. I'm not gonna stay too long.
It won't be long because it's gonna be dark shortly.
I'm just passing by real quick.
You just missed Stinky Pete.
Stinky Pete.
The trash train from from New England.
Oh, okay.
Even when it's cold out, he stinks.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He went rolling past here. can't get the other cam to work so I can wind it back. Hate technology. Just absolutely hate technology. Ugh. Well, Stinky Pete is making his way towards Chattanooga, and we are going to take a look at what you guys are missing before it gets dark of the fall colors that we have. Now, it's either green, bare, or a little bit of color. So don't be disappointed if we don't look like Tara does up in Virginia, because this is just a crazy year. First of all, it's just gone so incredibly fast. And like I said, we are at Bootleggers Crossing. And if you Google Bootleggers Crossing, you'll see all the activities described that used to occur here, and the fact that this has been a rail fan spot for generations. There's the private crossing that Andy and I have watched. And by the way, Andy's here. He said tell you all hi. We have watched them redo this crossing 3 times this year. Everybody there? Oh, Andy's gonna run. He just said tell you hi, but he ain't gonna talk. Boy, I had never seen Andy go that fast. That camera went right, and boy, he went left. Now, if y'all are looking for some railroad ties, I'm just going to tell you where there's a ton of them. Right here at the 227 milepost. And whoever did this just did a phenomenal job. Look at the skill in stacking all those rail ties. Now, if I was really bored, we'd do a contest to see who could guess the closest, and I'd go down there and count them all. But I'm not that bored, so we aren't going to know. I can go real slow and you can count real fast, but, and that's a bush with one set of leaves on it that you see, that green thing sticking up. But those are all used railroad ties stacked up there. Oh, let's see what this says. Uh-oh, going the wrong direction. Norfolk Southern 5 minutes ago was in Chattanooga going west. Down at the debug yard, and it's still apparently well, I don't know about that. But anyhow, 5 minutes ago, Norfolk Southern, they're at the west end of the yard, which they call the south end, moving around in the yard. So NS 8114 is here in town if any of you are floating around down by the south end or somewhere in the yard. And there are a ton of railroad ties. Our outbound signal bridge. As you can see, it's already getting dark on us, but there's kind of a look at either gray trees or a few. And like I said, without the sun, kind of hard to see them, what color we do have. There's the propane tanks, where if we get ice and freezing conditions, you'll see flames keeping those switches warm so that they work when they're supposed to. Down that way is Whistle Stop and the old spooky water tower that kid outdoor wants to spend the night in. There's the end of Ottawa Cemetery Road, cul-de-sac there. Only people who come down here are Andy and I, and everybody else is lost. They get to the end, they look around, uh-oh, and then they turn around and leave. Little Debbie Parkway down that way. And Ottawa Cemetery, which is a huge, huge cemetery. And Andy and I was just talking. There were 2 deer here, the buck and the doe, and they're back in that. They went back in that area right back there. A happy couple. We always talk about hug the one you love and tell them what they mean. Well, I guess the deer do that too. There's the Dowdy family. Andy's getting nervous. The camera's getting close to his direction. He's moving to the left again. But that's a huge, huge cemetery. We always see some kind of life back there. Running around from squirrels to whatever. But like I said, we either have a little bit of color, or all green, or just no leaves at all. Here in Ooltewah, Ooltewah, Tennessee. An old Indian name. And like I said, thanks to daylight savings time, we didn't save much because it's already getting dark. And it's tough to see the lights here until it gets darker as far as the signal control lights up on the signal bridge, because they are angled to the right significantly because of, as the train makes that turn down there, the train crew up front needs to see them. So it's curved away from us. Now, the only good thing I can think about the fact that fall is already here. Andy and I talked about this the other night down at the debug yard. The 10,000 little white aphids per square foot of air are not here tonight. I guess it's either too late to be out or they're dead. Either way, it's fine with me. Any place other than here. I think it was AGS talking the other night about how many of them he ate. Because you can't help it. You just go to say something, all of a sudden, in they go. I was just looking to see if anything exciting might happen to be coming past here in the next few moments. We will be down in Birmingham tomorrow night. And then, let's get Aiden's schedule out while we're at it, while we're on that subject, for the Magic City Rail Watch. Aiden is one of our hosts. The second largest rail fan event in Alabama every year. Founded by Aiden McClendon and co-hosted by Mayor Swan and Dan Gosha. And let's see what's tomorrow's schedule. Like I said, we're going to start out tomorrow morning as early as I can manage to get up. Now, that could occur anywhere from 6 a.m. to 9. But we are going to do our absolute best to be out of the house by 7 tomorrow morning. If so, that would be a record for me. And head over to Old Waxahachie Pike at the crossing there by the CSX Waxahachie Yard. And take in some of the colors as the sun rises on the mountains there. And let's find Aiden's schedule here. Y'all hang on. All right. All right, this is Aiden's schedule for the Magic City, November 8th, 2025 Railfan Rail Watch event down in Birmingham. We're going to start out at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time until 1 p.m. They're in Irondale, where the police department is right there by both of the rail watch areas. They built a great big pavilion on one side. They've got a smaller one on the other side with a caboose and everything. We're going to start out there at 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. And then, oh, hang on a second. Mrs. S is calling, so y'all hang on 1 second. Hey.
Do we have any airport?
No, why? All right, well, we can tell the guy he's due to come now, so I'll get back to you if I can. Okay, we'll tell the end guy. Okay, gotta go. Okay, you want me to bring anything home? All right, thanks. Everybody, that was Mrs. S. She said to tell y'all hi. She's on her way to karate, and she had to catch up on a couple things I'm supposed to do. And being the good husband that I am, I'm going to make sure I do them, because that's how I stay out of trouble. And as Kid always says, happy life is based upon a happy wife. All right, back to Aiden's events here. Let me get them pulled back up yet. All right, so 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. there in Irondale. Aiden's got planned to take a group photo at high noon. And then break for lunch. And then 1:30 to 5:30, headed to the 21st Street Bridge. I think maybe I said 23rd Street earlier, but the 21st Street Bridge in downtown Birmingham. He says bring a chair and maybe an umbrella, but he's more optimistic than that. But just in case, have one in the car. Parking's free on the weekend, so park on the south end of the bridge. And he hopes to do a group photo as well there on the bridge. And then he plans to go back to Irondale after 5:30 p.m. for the evening train traffic leaving the Norris Yard. And he's going to stay there till 7:30 or 8, and he has invited each and every one of you to come. There's no charge to go to the event. The only thing you have to do is have a good time. And if everything goes right, we'll be live throughout the day down in Birmingham. And tomorrow, November 7th, 2025, we're going to try and go live at different spots as we make our way to Birmingham. And Jesse and Brian told me to go make a spin by the old Sloss Foundry Museum, catch some action there where they went last year before the event, the night before, the day before. So that's kind of tomorrow's plans. Anybody got any questions? Ask away. And we're going to hang out till dark, which as you can see is happening quickly. Robert, how are you and PT doing? Hey Nate, good to see you again. Ain't right. We want to see pictures of a healthy dinner, or I'm going to call that doctor and tell on you. Hey Tony, how you doing, sir? Everybody said tell Andy hi.
Hi.
Hello, Tara.
Hi, Tara.
Andy apologizes that we didn't get you a sunset. Well, I guess there's a little splotch of yellow back there. Hello, Chuck. How are you, sir? I left everything there for you. Try not to burn it down. All right, let's go back trackside, y'all. While we can still see the track. And like I said, if anybody's really energetic, I'll go real slow over all these railroad ties, and you can count them. While we hope we can get one more squeezed in before it gets dark here. The last time we was here, there was that little tiny pile right there going left to right. Now, we got this pile, in case there's anyone out there going into yard service work. Maybe NS will just cut you a deal on the whole stack. Now the cool thing, when the day comes, we'll have to put Andy in charge of this, watching them load all of these. So Nate, you're closest. You're in charge of letting us know when these all get loaded so we can film that. And we know they won't do that at night. Tara, I'm going to get you the only sunset I can find. Right there. As y'all can tell, this event won't last long because there are no lights here, and someone thought it was a great idea to make it get dark before the normal person gets home from work at 6:30 at night.
I'm not sure yet. I might.
Sun to anything in between.
I've heard it was supposed to rain.
Like I said, it changes constantly. Robert, have you rail fanned at Sloss? And if so, what was the spot you used? Tara, I'm glad you had a super good trip while you were here. You got a non-rain day all the way to Somerville and back. After that Sunday start, they had hail outside of Somerville by Tryon. If y'all haven't had a chance to see, Tara is in Sunday morning's video where she was hanging out in the rain with us when they hooked up the doubleheader. 6:30's last run for a while due to the fact it is time for its federally mandated overhaul. Everybody, we're going to probably only be here till 6:15 Eastern Standard Time. Because as you can see, not only is it getting dark, it's getting dark quickly. And 10 Bridge, Tara, is a beautiful place to get a sunset. You couldn't do a better job if you tried. Well, I can't believe how fast it's getting dark.
I know, it feels like midnight already.
Oh. Anybody got any news to share? Anybody seen anything exciting? Anybody been out and about? Tara, how many steps today? I can't believe they make you walk that far. You need I don't know, a little scooter thing you stand on that zips around for that many steps. It's getting well, as you know, it's getting dark, but it's just dark enough where we can almost make out colors up on the board. You can now, even though they are tilted to the right, we have enough darkness that we can see 4 of a kind. So, if you're in a poker game and I bring you 4 of a kind, you owe me half the pot. There are 2 signal bridges here. One right before you go over Little Debbie Parkway, and then the other one is on the other side of Little Debbie. This is the outbound set, and there are 2 diverge points between the 2 signal bridges for the traffic from Atlanta North District coming up or going down south, or the continuation of Knoxville West End going north. By the way, Santa Train's coming up. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks from this Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. Let me think here for a moment. Yes, I think it's the 22nd of November. The Santa Train with CSX up on the old Clinchfield. Casey and Kayla and I are all going up. Mrs. S is going to hold down the fort while we're gone. We're going to make that a 3-day excursion, do some filming all the way up. And if everything goes right, Casey has a super special surprise for y'all. And I'm not going to tell you yet because we haven't tested it. Oh, I'm going to get quiet. Andy hears a horn. Way to come through, Andy. Andy's Hero of the Night, where we're going to see a train in the dark. whatever it takes. So Robert, is that parking lot, is it in the parking lot where you go for the best vantage point, or is it another spot that I want to head towards tomorrow? Down at the Sloss, SLOSS, Haunted Foundry Museum. Hey Dirk, we're trying to squeeze one more in before it gets too dark to see it. Thanks for being on tonight. Hope everybody's going to make plans to be in Birmingham this weekend. The 8th of November, 2025. Hey Kit, how's Missouri? It's not freezing cold out here today.
Monday's gonna get cold.
I heard that wrong.
We're gonna be in the 20s. I'm not going anywhere.
Just because it's November, it doesn't have to be cold.
I know, right?
Ugh. In the 20s, like at midnight.
In the morning.
Like when I wake up, it's going to be in the 20s? Andy's trying to scare me and tell me it's going to be in the 20s when I wake up here in Chattanooga on Monday morning. And now he's got proof. The weatherman, who's never right, says so. The only job in America where you can be wrong every day and still have your job tomorrow is the weather person.
It's going to feel even colder because the wind is going to be blowing up to 20 miles an hour.
Oh, and he wants to add to it, not only is it going to be nippy out, but it's going to be windy, so we have a what kind of factor? Wind chill. We have a wind chill factor, so we can be even colder. Andy's my kind of hero. Well, we both heard the horns. We just got to figure out what happened to the horn blowing folks.
What it's going to feel like. This is going to be the real feel with the wind blowing.
I'm going to have to be sick Monday. Oh, everybody's going to be froze to death. Oh, look at the plane coming at us. Now that's cool. Plane at the top, sunset in the middle. He's gonna fly over and throw us some mints. No, you're going too far to the right. Banking. He's gonna throw the mints to somebody else. How dare he? We're not far from the Chattanooga airport. All right, Tara, the sunset has improved. It's not exactly what I would say is an award-winning picture, but it's a little orange and it's a little yellow. It's kind of small and there's a tree in the way. But there's your old sunset. And Andy and I both heard that horn. We're worried that maybe they're holding him over by the water tower, because we don't have any light left. All you're going to see is a train silhouette. And our plane leaving. Probably headed to Miami, where it's 91 degrees right now. And it'll be 85 on Monday, probably in Miami. But not in Chattanooga, according to Andy. It's going to be freeze 30. Y'all better bring the plants in that you like. Keep the dog warm. Well, we're going to hang on a couple more minutes and hope that our horn-blowing train arrives. Anybody have any questions about the rail watch in Birmingham? In 2 days. And if I don't know the answer, I'll find out from Aiden. Wow, Robert, that's pretty cool. That'd have to be a long time ago. All right, everybody, we're going to give our train 6 minutes, and then we're just going to be out of light on our live stream here at Bootleggers Crossing, historic and iconic, not far from where James County used to be before it went bankrupt, and Hamilton County was so gracious to say, hey, we'll just take you over and expand ourselves and pay off your bills. Two lights to the right, track 1. 2 lights to the left, track 2. And we're about 3 blocks from where the Atlanta North District begins, or Norfolk Southern here. In the dark, can't even see the railroad ties anymore.
Can I give you a quick update?
On what?
With Birmingham, look what they're expecting tomorrow.
Are you sure that's tomorrow?
Yes.
It was sunny this morning. Share that news with anybody.
72, low of 55. Sun in the morning, winds 10 to 15.
If I'm looking in the morning here.
Yeah. Pretty good light. Where'd you get that light from?
Amazon for not much money.
Okay.
It's even got a thing that you can do that with it. You can send it. And it's got, I think, 1, 2, 3. So there's bright, not as bright, less bright.
Even send light gun signals up to the space station.
Yeah. Like I said, the NS, send train. All right, everybody. Anybody got any last minute questions before we wrap this up? Now that Andy and I have checked the weather from everywhere from here to Mississippi. Hello, kid. We're just getting ready to call tonight. As you can see, it is officially dark here. Mama Bear getting a little nap in, is she? I hope everything's going well at the new store. And yes, Tony, it is haunted. That's why we're going. Robert's great-grandfather is going to show us around. And who knows what we might record, Tony? We could finally meet the hauntedness at Sloss. I used to live in Birmingham, and everybody used to talk about that. I always thought that was a cool story. All right, everybody. Let's see who's been practicing the best, because it is that moment. Andy and I can't even tell where the track is anymore. We are going to call this an official wrap. Everybody, Kid Outdoor, you tell Mama Bear I said hi, and I'm glad to hear that she loves it. And Tony, you're first on it tonight. Everybody, we will see y'all at the next crossing. And if Andy will leave the weather be, that will be tomorrow morning, probably in Waxahachie.